The S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100. Happy Thanksgiving, Turkey Day, whatever you call it. Shout out to the pilgrims because honestly, I like what this America thing turned out to be. Am I right? So let's look at what's happening here on the action. Now, the first thing we're doing is going over futures, and then we'll move into some equities as well. Just to let you know, on Twitter, I'll have all of my charts going on there like in the next hour. I did a chart request. I won't be taking any more. So again, if you go over to Twitter, I'll have all that listed here. So again, all the questions that were listed down here, I'll go over most of these charts. It'll all be there. So let's get into this. So what we look at right now, going to be ignoring volume right now just because this week it's been lackluster, holiday week. You don't expect anything crazy, right? So when we look at this action, we look at how this is taking place. You're breaking over the key levels. 16,000, 15.4 was first, and this was next. Now also too, when we look here at the daily time frame, what's happening at these massive levels, right? You come into them, consolidated highs, you break through. Very similar structure here, stair stepping, consolidated highs, we're breaking through. Okay, tomorrow I believe seems like a half day, so make sure you're keeping your head on a swivel there. But ultimately, what I'm looking for going into the beginning of December and ultimately the first few weeks of September is upside, upside, upside. Okay, we've had almost everything work out in our favor from a fundamental point of view. CPI, great. PPI, great. PCE, great. Oil prices, energy costs going down. Cost of living going down as well. I don't really care what anyone says about your personal feelings about this. The data is what speaks to the economy, and the economy is liking what's happening from those data pools. Those things are working out. And this is all shaping up to the next Fed meeting where we most likely get another pause. Okay, so that's everything that's happening and taking place here. So Nasdaq, realistically, as long as you're holding 16,000, my next target, 16.4 roughly. And again, what are you targeting here? It's just basically, number one, you have your previous high here at 16.25. But again, I think you have to go to SPY to get a better visual of this because contract's rolling over here. And we go back into SPY and you look at where you're at and you're basically there. You're basically almost at your 52-week high that you already had back this summer. Okay, we're almost back there. Qs, Nasdaq already above it, already broken over, already moving. Great, fantastic, right? So you go to the weekly, we go back here, we can look. You're very close, 5% away maybe from all-time highs here. When we put this back into consideration, 408, 18 points off, around 5-6% away from all-time highs. Highly likely, okay? IWM, this is going to be your big signal, though. This is the big signal we've been watching, okay? IWM, the Russell, one of the best metrics of risk on versus risk off. We're seeing some very interesting action here, okay? These are from past videos, right? Now, we've had the 200 SMA touch. We got rejected, but we can see we're clearly making that pin in here. We're clearly finding support here. We're consolidating here again at highs. You want to see the break of this 200 SMA. Keep it on your charts like 180.5 right now. Every time we've broken in the past and mounted, big shots to the upside. We're going to go back to early June. We're going to go back to early January or end of January. Okay, let's just look real quickly. Okay, so June of this past year. Let's go to the daily chart. Daily. Okay, just real quick so you can see. June, May, and then you have June coming right here. Boom, you shoot up. You push into all-time 52-week highs. January, back here. December, you find your bottom. January, you get a little bit of a dip in February. And then boom, you shoot up again. So IWM has been one of the big key metrics to be watching. Now, number two, we're going to go to a little bit more fundamental here. DXY. A lot of people talk about the dollar getting a bounce, this, that. Now, what we really wanted was the retest of 200 to break back down. You got back above, but you're kind of sitting consolidating here. Again, weird week, Thanksgiving, hard to always, look at what's happening with volume and what's happening with the overall market there. But one thing we do know, our yields continue to track to the downside, the 10-year, 30-year, everything in between. And you're getting very close to those 2022 highs, which are right here marked out. The 10-year as well, which you're dangerously close to also. The 2 and 5 are already broken below those levels. Things you need to be watching. Oil also showing weakness off the 200 SMA as well after OPEC's latest announcement regarding the demand just still not being there. So that's what we're looking at as a whole. Okay. Now, before we go any further, I have to ask you to do two things. Consider liking and subscribing. Helps out the channel tons. And we really do appreciate it. Monday through Friday, we make videos here for you. Also, too, the Black Friday sale. You're interested in Discord. Okay. The spots will be available tomorrow. I'll have a video going over that and going over the market tomorrow. But make sure you're on the watch list. You're waiting. It's going to be there. It's going to be on the website. The link is down below, so make sure you're checking it out. And we'll also have the lifetime sales as well for the first time. We only do this once a year, so all those opportunities will be there. Chart Prime too, if you're looking at these indicators. Again, I don't know exactly what sell Chart Prime's having, but again, you always talk about and ask about the volume indicator down here, the key level indicator in here as well, everything in between. And now they have the new scanner. Also, if you don't know, the new Chart Prime scanner, absolutely crazy. Scans and shows you your favorite stocks, which trend they're in, the short-term and longer-term time frames. So again, make sure you're checking out. The link for that is down below as well. We really appreciate them here on the channel. So what I want to talk about now are stocks that I'm liking. Again, if you want, you can come back over here and you're going to be able to get all these charts on Twitter for free. The link's down below. What I'm going to talk about, though, is going to be specifically some equities, right? These are the ones that I like. Number one, we're talking about Walmart. Now, Walmart, this is a longer term name. Honestly, if you're buying this, short term is not the mentality. If it gets short term bounce, I love it. Awesome. Probably end up selling it quick, but still. So I ended up buying shares around the 200 SMA, and then I kind of rolled those out into just a swing dated contract for 2025. In the money, just rather than having $15,000 in shares, I just went for like a $4,000 contract, and it's a leap and it'll move like shares anyways. So it just makes sense for me and it just worked out. But I still like it. I'd be looking for upside into 158 and then hopefully getting pushed back to 163 and then 167. Again, I think the reason for the downfall here on Walmart is stupid. I think that it's a miscalculation. And I think that they're going to bounce. They're going to keep doing well. Go to the weekly chart. You can see the high lows that have been made here over the course of the past year. You're holding the 200 SMA, bouncing very, very strong. Costco is a really good look as well. They have earnings in a few days. Also, they went right down to support and bounced perfectly out of that ascending triangle we were talking about for a while. You bounced, pushed back up, almost $20 from there as well. Almost, yeah, $20 give or take. So awesome move there. I think Walmart, I don't know if it's going to move as quick, but I like Walmart. Think they're going to bounce back. Think they're going to do good. The end. Number two, Amazon. Amazon's been one of the number one opportunities. And I do want to go over, what's happening with some of these option contracts, how you can be trading these, how you can be looking at these as well. So Walmart, again, very dated. I'm not going to go too much into detail with that. I mean, you can do it, see what works for yourself. Okay. Amazon for me, what I've been saying again and again and again has been the June contracts. The ones that we got and I mentioned in Discord were the 155s right here. You got in those around $10.40 a contract. Okay, that's the ones that we ended up trading, right? If you want to get a better metric of this, getting a better visual, call options, what we're looking at here. Basically what we were looking at, okay? Giving you a visual here on the chart. Okay, call, we're going to June. Yeah, about right there. So that's what we're looking at. Like, I want to make sure that's really clear. You understand what we're looking at. 155 calls, that's what we're looking at, right? So they're up nice, sitting pretty. But the metric behind this, though, to let you guys know, is so when you get dips like we've gotten on Amazon, where you come back down to 143, I'm not freaking out. I have time on these contracts. If I'm scalping, then yeah, I'm taking profits when we hit highs, obviously. But when you get those dips, they don't freak you out. But what do we know about here about Amazon? What's happening? The weekly, guys, the weekly. You're already breaking this level, basically. You're illiquid to 155, 156. It's beautiful. It's going to happen quick. It's going to be vicious, and I'm going to show the profits here on the channel when it happens because I love it. I'm loving Amazon, really strong. You saw sellers try to step in here as well, but again, on the weekly, it's all buyers. It's all buyers, and that's what we like to see there. Okay, a little bit deeper. Nvidia, I'm not going to really go over a trade idea here or a trade plan per se, but what I'm going to say here is Nvidia's earnings were fantastic, and I believe that's going to be the catalyst that continues to push us up into this week. Now, this week coming up, we also have CrowdStrike CRM earnings, some cloud names, which I love cloud. But if we're looking at Nvidia, we're looking at the market as a whole. I think Nvidia's earnings, people took that as somehow bearish. I don't know how. Nvidia has revised from, think back, a year ago from right now. Their earnings were 7 to 7.5 billion. Now, for quarter four, they're anticipating 20 billion, and they just reported 18 billion. I want you to understand that. And they already adjusted and said the revenue that they're going to make from their China extensions and whatever happened from that is dropping. So they're accounting for China dropping while still raising guidance again and again and again. And we need to also understand that Nvidia is doing this during one of the worst markets that we've had for investors. Why? Because it's harder than ever for companies to borrow money. It is. The rates are extremely high. It's extremely tough, and they continue to grow. I think this is huge for them. I think they're going to break over the $500 level. I think this is just going to roll into all the other names, though. The big name you got to be watching right now is AMD. You're at 122.5. You're trying to mount it. You're already over 122, but 122.5 is like the sweet spot. You mount over that, you're pushing into all-time or 52-week highs, period. Okay, 52-week highs is where you're looking at. Over 122.5, you hold that, you're pushing back into there. Short-term target, possibly like 130, but again, 132 is where you're looking at 52-week highs, plain simple. Okay, keep it on your radar, keep tracking. Meta, I've been mentioning Meta for a while. It's awesome here on the daily. You can clearly see the ascending triangle playing out. You're breaking above. You got the retest, and now you're at 341. Awesome. You pushed up to 343 almost, roughly, so you still look really good there. These are all names I'm liking. Now, the last ones I'm going to mention are going to be Cloud, and these are probably the riskier names because they have earnings next week, okay, Tuesday and Wednesday. So CrowdStrike, I love them, and you're getting fantastic holds. This 206 level, you go back to the weekly, you can see where this stems from right here and here. You're mounted above that. Beautiful, exactly what you wanted to see. You can argue you have resistance at 213, 214, but I do believe with the beat of earnings, you're flying to 230, 240, give or take. Telling you that right now. CRM, absolute dog. We've mentioned this a lot as well here on the channel. You zoom in on CRM here on the weekly, clear bull flag, you're breaking out of it, bouncing the daily 200 SMA. You're getting above the key level 2 of 221, 222. You're mounting, bull flagging as well, holding, pushing up. Even when the market pulled back this week, CRM held up fantastic. CRM target short term, 228, 230. If you beat smash earnings, I think you break 52-week highs and you just keep on running. Personal opinion there as well. So again, across the board, very bullish narrative for myself. I'm still keeping track of all the same stocks that I've mentioned. I'm not getting crazy here. As long as NQ remains above 16K, I think you got to be really bullish. If you get back below 16K, I think you're just cautious until you break back below some other major levels. But for right now, 16K is what I'm watching. We hold this. You look very, very bullish. And that's all you're really looking for to end this week. It's just getting a strong hold on indexes to roll over into the beginning of December. That's all you want. You don't want anything crazy. You're not going, straight, full degen, anything like that. You're just letting these setups play out there like we've been doing, right? Consolidating at highs. We talked about it. Pretty bullish when you consolidate at a resistance and you break through it, right? Same thing at 15.4. You were patient, you broke above, retested, boom, you shot up. You have to believe the same setups continue to work for us here. Okay, we're not fixing something if it isn't broken. If you have questions, comment down below. Check out Twitter for any deals that are going to be coming out here on the Discord. If you're interested, have a good one, traders.